If your attacker has a gun and you don't, you have to close the distance in order to defend yourself. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of Mexico City, Mexico. It's going to show us here what looks like a hit to me at the beginning, but we're going to pay a special attention to the person who's trying to stop this gunman. And we're going to learn some important lessons here about controlling the distance, about firearms as distance tools, and about how dangerous it can be to fight someone with a firearm if you don't have one yourself. It's an incredibly busy day on the metro here when we see this guy with what looks like a bag around a gun start taking shots at this uniformed guy and shooting him multiple times. And that guy runs off and we can see the guy trying to get his gun out of the bag or whatever, and someone else comes and tries to tackle him. Well, unfortunately though, it's a very slippery pavement and this gun is jammed, thankfully, but this defender who's tried to step in here cannot get the guy down. He keeps trying to, but you can see him take what looks like a shot there and try to take the guy down. But unfortunately, it's not going to work. Finally, the gun's going to work right there and shoot this man and unfortunately end his life. So let's go back here and learn some lessons. The first one I want to talk about is as a bystander. If this started among you and you see these gunshots, do not stay in this danger zone. It takes everybody a minute to recognize what's going on, but when you hear gunshots, you got to get out of there. If you're a defender and you even wanted to step into this, your backstop is terrible. You got to just get out of there. Secondly, this first victim here, this uniformed guy, who is being shot by this guy. You notice he gets up. That's an incredibly important skill. If you're grounded, you got to get up as fast as you can. Then he runs off. You see him there, get out of the danger zone, get away from the problem. Now, this guy who decides to step in, I don't know if he's another officer or what, but you notice that he tries to launch a counter ambush on this guy, but look at how far apart they are. They're about 6 or 7 feet apart when his intended counter ambush victim notices him, and that's way too far. You got to do your best to get and close that distance. So now it looks like his gun's not working, but this is why we talk at Active Self-Protection all the time about your empty-handed skills, about a willingness to commit to the fight, close that distance. You can see right there, he's got his hands around his hips. This is where some grappling skills, some wrestling skills, classic wrestling, double leg takedown here, driving him into this stuff. And then he's unable to do that, but that's why this is so important. And he ends up on his back here with a guy with a distance tool like a firearm. And that puts him in a terrible place here where that guy can back up and just absolutely go to town on him. We do talk all the time about spiritual fitness here at Active Self-Protection. That shot was fatal. So you want to make sure that you're right with God, right with your loved ones. You've said everything that you need to say because you don't know the last day of your life before it comes. All in all, some incredible lessons here as a bystander and as a victim and as somebody who might potentially step into a third-party encounter to make sure that you do it effectively to cover your asp.